live. Mic is going.
Testing, testing. Can you hear me? Is the thing moving?
It's moving.
Awesome.
It ain't very high.
That's fine. We'll get into it in a second. Thank you, love. Appreciate it. All right, welcome everybody. We're going to give everybody a couple minutes to come on. We're going to start at 6:05 and get into the topic of the day. Welcome back for another Wednesday. So go ahead, if you're already on, go ahead and like and share. Please, please, please like, share, like, share, like, share. Make sure to check out our sponsors as well. I'll be tagging on the Wednesdays with Hayes page. We'll get started at 6:05. I'm sharing right now as we speak.
It smells so good in here. Okay, it smells so good.
Come on in, come on in. We'll get started at 6:05 for those that just joined us. Want to make sure we give everybody the opportunity to come in, share, like, so we can get started. Tearing up stuff already.
We already tearing stuff up.
I'm sharing this now on the Wednesdays with Hayes page.
Oh,
I'm not finished. I'm taking the counseling page too.
Gotcha.
So they know exactly.
Anyone that I shared this to via email or Facebook that is a friend or a colleague, please do let me know you were here today. You can either inbox me, you can email me. You can also tag the page, but please do comment and add Wednesdays with Hayes as well to make sure that you can get
so
next
you got
week.
some goodies for them at the end of the show.
At the end of the show, I brought some goodies that I would like to donate on behalf of I Do Care Counseling and Consulting Services. We wanted to make sure that because of audience participation, we left you some goodies, some treats. So there's a chance to win some items and earn those items. There's 3 different chances. And I think I brought some pretty good items.
You sure did.
I think I did. I wanted to make sure.
I'll let y'all have it. I ain't going to take the items as the gift.
Also, if you go to my Facebook page, I Do Care Counseling and Consulting Services, PLLC, please do hit the donate button to Scars Incorporated. I wanted to let you know that there's a donate button for that nonprofit organization there. So please do add I Do Care Counseling and Consulting Services, PLLC. Hit the like page. The website is www.idocarecounseling. But most important, wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for Scars Incorporated. So hit that donate button and please send donations to that event as well, to that nonprofit. I'm actually wearing one of my shirts. Don't Love Me to Death. Don't Love Me to Death. That was an initiative that Ms. Pearson had a part in and spearheaded. She can tell you more about that, but I wanted to support that today, which is a very important day.
All right, so it's 6:05. We about to get started. I actually just shared the post here. So again, welcome to Wednesdays with Hayes. My name is Shahara Hayes Pearson. I'm coming to you live each and every Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. And of course, on Wednesdays with Hayes, we are covering the popular and unpopular topics that is affecting our community. When I say our, I don't just mean African American, I don't just mean women, I don't just mean wives, I don't just mean mothers. I mean us as a community. So often we've gotten out of the it takes a village mentality, and that's really the mindset that I want us to really get back to, of understanding that, you know, we got to stop looking away and feeling like that's somebody else's problem or somebody else's issues, not realizing how that has a trickle effect down in our society and in our communities. So with that being said, I do want to introduce our guest for today. Now, let me make sure I'm pronouncing it correctly, because I know my name is very unique, and yours is as well. Is it Jareen?
Yes.
Okay, it is Jareen.
Yes.
Jareen. Okay. Because I know me moving down here, they say Shahara when it's Shahara, but I'm so used to hearing it, I answer regardless.
And I apologize. I'm trying to add that on my page.
Oh, you fine. You fine. Take your time.
But yes, you know my name. It is Jareen. It is Jareen. It actually means great motivator and influence. I had researched my name.
Oh, I like that.
Thank you.
I like that.
Couldn't find anything else or anyone else that fit my name. And there's one other person that I found in the world, and it's Jareen Demi, and he and I are friends on Facebook. He's in South Africa.
Okay.
But I was named after someone that lives in Buffalo, New York. So I only know 3 people in the world with the name Jareen.
Oh, awesome, awesome, awesome. So the topic for today is one that I wanted to make sure that I left as one of the heavier topics for the month. We have been covering for the entire month of May, marriage. First show was Black Men in Marriage with Reggie Denon. The second show was The Glow Up After Divorce with the awesome Chef Judy. Then last week we had Shalimar as well as Gwendale talk about long distance and marriages. And through all of those topics, it ties into mental health and marriage. I see people all the time saying how they want to be, you know, goal-wise with, you know, with their health. And they want to be fit, or, you know, they want their husbands to get in shape or to live a better life so that they live longer, or their wives to, you know, be healthy so they can live longer. And I see so many people emphasizing on the physical when they're deteriorating in the mental. And it's causing a lot of marriages to break up for things that really, you know, we can avoid or really get help from. But in a lot of our communities and our mindsets, we don't want to seek counseling. You know, we don't want to talk about the things that may be impacting, whether it's currently or something that previously may have happened that we call trauma, that, you know, people bring into a marriage, a relationship and a marriage, and then turn around and it not only impacts them, it's impacting their marriage, and if they have children, it's impacting their children. And a lot of times it's generational. So definitely wanted to make sure that I hit on this topic. One, because I'm, you know, not just a survivor, but, you know, I have some mental diagnoses as well, and things that I battle with on a daily basis. So definitely wanted to get an expert up here, because I can talk about my personal, but I can't talk about it on the book sense, and, you know, you have firsthand experience of that. So definitely thank you for taking the opportunity to be able to come on the platform and educate us. So make sure y'all get y'all pens and pencils together. Listen, if she stepped on your toes, it wasn't meant for you to be, it wasn't meant to hurt, but sometimes you got to hurt to get the healing, okay? That being said, I want you to formally introduce yourself, your company name, how long you've been in business, and your experience period, like the total number of years, because I know the business, you just stepped out on faith not that long ago, but you've been in this field for quite some time.
Yes. Well, a little bit about me. I actually am a native of Buffalo, New York.
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop. I relocated after the untimely murder of my father. And I will say that I grew up in Charlotte, North Carolina until the age of 12. And then I relocated to Dallas, Texas. So I have a melting pot of experiences. So I'm representing New York, representing North Carolina, and representing Texas as well. However, I am also an overcomer of a domestic violence in a marriage. At the age of 22 years old, I traveled from Dallas, Texas to Fayetteville, North Carolina. Everyone asks me, why Fayetteville, North Carolina? I don't know. I was already in school. I know that I wanted to pursue my education, and they offered me the chance. Dr. Olivia Chavez, she offered me the opportunity to apply for a program to live on campus with my son.
Oh,
and I did
wow.
such. I lived with my son on campus, 1305 Coley Drive.
She still remembers.
Coley, yes. It was my humble, small beginning. The program didn't last too long, so I had a chance to relocate and live in public housing.
Okay.
I lived in Fayetteville Metropolitan Public Housing for about 4 to 5 years while I was pursuing my education. Got pregnant there with my second son. I have 2 children. Hello, Andrew and Derek. I got pregnant with my second son, which actually, began the realization there were some serious issues I had emotionally and mentally that had not been addressed. Due to the domestic violence, due to watching my father. He was murdered when I was 7. That was a very hard thing to deal with. I thought I was okay. I thought I was like every other child. And then I just kept going into a cycling of behaviors and emotional problems that really was beginning to create a horrific foundation for me in my adulthood. So I myself sought counseling with an individual. Can't say her name, but not putting her in HIPAA issues. But she knows who she is, and it was at a wonderful agency that she worked with me to deal with a lot of my trauma. As you also said, a lot of PTSD. I was afraid to go to the door because he was shot through the door. Marriage-wise, I was always the one with the problem. Everyone else had the problem but me in the relationship. So I definitely can say I'm not an expert in relationships, but I do have expertise in dealing with trauma, and also clinically trained to help individuals. One reason I became a counselor is I couldn't find anybody like me.
Right.
I had a hard time finding someone that not only looked like me, but understood my cultural dynamic. Living in housing, being a recipient of Medicaid services, receiving food stamp assistance, working with a lot of community programs.
Right.
And it was just, people sometimes have you go through the process because they want to make sure that they're doing their job, but no one seems to have believed in the fact that investment. I think my loan says you worth something because you owe us some money. But neither here nor there. It was just really trying to find out as a young lady who I wanted to become.
Okay.
And I see here today a conglomerate of a lot of women and a lot of different ministries and individuals. I named it I Do Care Counseling and Consulting Services because I really do care. I really do know what it's like to feel like no one understands and no one's going to take you serious, or you have this passion that you want to explain and there's a greater purpose inside of you, but you feel inferior because you're utilizing the system to help you get ahead. And no matter what, at the end of the day, you're still receiving an assistance type program, so you may not feel like you're liberated on your own. Use those stepping stones. So I do care helping you through your season of harvest, making sure that the seeds that you plant are in good ground. So it was birthed working for another individual, another group practice, and getting a lot of good training with that agency specifically. Many agencies have been great, but this specific one helped me to realize, hey, you know what? You really can do this, and I want you to fly out there and believe in yourself and take it to another level.
And that's good because, you have some individuals, when you work for a company, they don't want to, want you to go because they know that you're an awesome employee. So that's definitely awesome that they seen in you what you might not have seen, in yourself at that time, and said, hey, you're here temporarily, but this is not your stopping place, and I need you to continue. So what I Do Care, who do you specialize in? Is it just women? Is it men? Is it everyone? What is your goal outside of, I know what you touched on a little bit just a minute ago, but what is your goal? Like when they come for counseling, what is your goal when they leave from you, or they start from that first consultation? What do you specialize in, and what are you trying to convey to those that are seeking your counseling?
Well, thank you for asking. I Do Care Counseling. We are a full comprehensive mental health agency. At this time, we are a solo practice office, meaning that I am the full-time clinician there. However, it is a group practice, and I have other consultants who are not licensed in mental health counseling. However, they are trained and highly skilled in the field of mental health to provide a consultation service. So I don't like to consider it life coaching. I call it empowerment consulting services.
Okay.
And I'm saying that because we need to learn how to empower one another and understand that no, it should not cost you to go to someone to be empowered. But many times you need that one-on-one assistance when someone has the skills to actually help you, guide you through that process. So there's a distinction between consultation and counseling. Counseling is a service that I provide, and also the other clinicians that are in processing. We provide mental health counseling, family counseling, individual counseling, group counseling. I myself am certified in the Nurturing Parenting program facilitation classes, and what that is actually a parenting class that, helping parents. I attended parenting classes voluntarily years ago.
Right.
I just felt I wanted to be a better parent.
Didn't know you were setting yourself up.
Didn't know I was setting myself up. And I realized as time went on that I hadn't arrived either. Another reason I do care is so important is it actually was a transformation of myself.
Okay.
There were a lot of things that I had not dealt with even in my professional career that I realized was going to prevent me from building long-lasting relationships. Because we talk about trauma.
Right.
We talk about trauma and trusting, trauma and trying to, explain and deliver your message. Finding someone that you can connect to that understands your energy is not an aggression. Your energy is a passion. But how do you relay that passion to someone in a relationship? So mental health and marriage is really a good foundation for the business topic. However, it's a starting point for relationships.
Right.
So I want to make sure that I make it clear as I'm talking about my business. I want you to look into what I'm saying literally word for word and understanding how can you have a healthy, long-lasting marriage if you cannot maintain your professional relationships.
Right.
If you cannot maintain relationships with your case manager, if you're not turning stuff in on time, or if you can't meet your deadlines that you have at work, or helping your children to know they can come to you, or your child to come to you for things that they need. Many times people try to portray one image behind the door, and then they portray another one outside.
Yes.
In my case, God had to allow me to have a lot of things that was not lining up to be burnt out.
Right.
To be burnt out. What that means is I had to actually walk through some very intensified situations and fiery situations to know. I often think about an episode on Martin where the lady was saying, I keep it real.
Right.
I keep it real. And she was eating on pork rinds, and she had a long layers of weave, and said that she doesn't wear unnatural hair. So what I'm saying is the first thing going in a relationship, in a marriage, is to be authentic. To know who you are and to stand by what you believe. I'm not perfect. I don't have a perfect past. I have skeletons like everyone else has skeletons. However, they only get meat when you keep feeding them life.
Right.
You only get meat when you keep feeding them life.
Say that one more time.
Everyone has skeletons in their closet, but they only have meat when you keep feeding the skeletons life. Eventually, a skeleton is going to turn into dust where it's no longer existent. So one part of dealing with trauma is addressing your issues. I could say, well, I just told the world that I watched my father, get murdered literally when I was 7. And I can say, well, that's going to affect my career. People are going to think that I'm not healed. No, I've walked through trauma. I know when someone's saying they're afraid, they're grieving. I know what that feeling feels like. However, I don't counter transfer. What I do is I utilize my experiences to help understand what thought processes you might be receiving at this time that your mind is telling you. And I figure out, based on your diagnosis, what interventions, what modalities, what systemized processing of therapy can help you to recover. If you look up the word therapy, it definitely is saying it's a remedy or a cure. It's a way to help cure something. I don't have a problem. If you don't have a problem, then I'm pretty sure you don't need therapy. You might want to come receive consultation then to see if there's something that you keep running into a brick wall and you're not able to reach that other level. What does that have to do with mental health and marriage? A lot.
A lot.
When a man, and I myself am single at this time, and I am single by choice. I am not single because I do not have many men who are interested, but I also understand there's a purpose that's destined for me. Proverbs 31 talks about a Proverbs 31 wife, a woman who this man sought after and he loved her.
Right.
You know, and he was so proud of her. Well, what I look at is that people were looking for her before she got there. If you really think back, I don't know if anyone preached it like this before, but it's how God gave it to me. There was no one in that time that I know of, I'm not a theologian,
right,
that a woman actually went out and handled all this type of businesses that and other people were looking for her that talked about in the Bible.
Right.
They sat at the temple gate looking for her. The people who were homeless, the people who sold items, the merchants, they were looking for her. She was a woman of wisdom.
Right.
She was a woman that brought a lot of respect and validation to her husband's desire to feel that his wife could carry on the lineage of what he wanted to represent in person and behind the scenes. She was consistent. That's one thing I want to talk about is consistency. Mental health is about you working the plan. You know, you have to get through. Stop texting. You know, many times I know for a fact through relationship transitions, you know, you're trying to text in long books. Well, what you're feeling, what you're going through, trying to trigger some type of emotional response
from
to this person,
right,
to get them to respond to your crisis. What that does is it actually takes away your strength. It takes away what you need to remember you learned to actually grow from this situation. Many times we attach ourselves to unhealthy coping skills. There were things that even as a professional that we need to admit to as a nurse,
yes,
as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, as a counselor, as a doctor, as the McDonald's owner, that there's things that we have to understand we can attach ourselves to and allow ourselves to be involved in. That's not healthy for us. Emotionally, mentally, social-wise, that's why companies have PR, public relations. You know, you hear a rumor and next thing you know, the whole story has changed.
Telephone, remember we used to play that in school?
Right, telephone. So you have someone who would see a situation or see a person, hear a person did something, and then next thing you know, it's a whole different story because it does not make that person look like they're not in a good place.
Right.
But what happens is, as you continue to find ways to mask your lies, eventually the truth will come out about who you really are. And to sit and stand in your truth, sometimes it hurts.
Right.
Sometimes people need to tell you, you know what, you're just not really nice. You know, or sometimes your husband or whoever you're dating might tell you that, you know, you're really intrusive and you really seem to not understand that I don't like this or I don't like that. For instance, I was talking to a woman the other day and she was sharing with me in confidence, not a session. She was sharing with me in a general conversation that her husband would often come and hug her from behind. And that was traumatizing to her because what she said was her husband was trying to show her affection.
Right.
But when he did such, she would relive memories of the trauma that she experienced from being physically attacked from the person that she was with previous.
Right.
Even though it was years before, it was still previous.
Right. And I had that same, you know, with my husband because I'm 5'3", he's 6'3". So he would come behind me and instantly, of course, I'm right near his chest and he does like this and I didn't understand. Literally I would feel like I'm about to pass out and it wasn't, he would just lay his arm, you know, stand behind me, not realizing that, you know, being a survivor, that was a trigger, you know, and didn't understand that was a trigger. And had I not been in counsel, you know, not been going through therapy and to know, okay, when I start feeling this way or my anxiety starts to flare or things are going on, that's what that is. I'm not going crazy because often we don't seek out to speak to someone, whether it's a consultation, life coach, therapist. We think that we're losing our minds. You know, we think that other people don't understand, and it's not that. It's we haven't came to understand ourselves. And with that, I want to ask you, before going into a marriage, for those that have been through trauma, because, you know, automatically people assume trauma is just, okay, well, my child may have seen me be abused or, you know, verbally, financially, whatever the case may be. They just think domestic violence. But there are other traumas. You had a trauma. Your father being killed in front of you is a trauma. You know, different things that can happen to a child where, you know, their parents may be abusing them, not feeding them, you know, not clothing them, making them, you know, go to school dirty and different things, and now they're being picked on, or their parents are drug addicts or alcoholics. Those are traumas.
Mm-hmm.
So for those individuals that have gone through a trauma before getting married, you know, what suggestion do you have for them to understand or acknowledge, because that's a big thing.
Yes.
To acknowledge that something has happened and understand that has impacted and will impact your current day-to-day. So when someone comes to you, or you hear or overhear someone saying, oh, well, I'm fine, you know, like you said, my father was killed, I was fine. What do you suggest for them before they get into that relationship, you know, that they do?
Well, that's a good question. It's a layered question as well. So I have to take it and
go ahead,
reprocess it. One of the things is we all have cognitive distortions. Many people
and let them
have cognitive distortions. Those are thinking processes that you have that does not allow you to connect the missing link so you can break forth to be able to have a deliverance. People in the church say, I need deliverance. So it's something that doesn't allow the connection from your experience to where you want to get to now for it to connect, so you can actually have a manifestation of the person that you want to walk in now. Hopefully that person should be a whole person. Everyone's individual goals are different, and that's one thing as counselors we understand, that we have to meet our clients where they are.
Yes.
And that we have to allow them to have person-centered, focused goals, treatment-based goals based on their individual, measurable, attainable desires to reach a certain optimal level in their life. With that being said, trauma is something that people experience on a day-to-day. You can say, I was almost in a car accident. Oh, you know, thank you, Lord. And every time you drive, you make sure your seatbelt's on, or you were hit in an accident.
Or you don't drive no more.
Or you don't drive no more.
Mm-hmm.
Or either you were hit and you were hit from behind.
Yes.
When you stop at a light, you might have that fear that you might end up getting rear-ended again, so you might feel antsy. Or if your house was broken into, you might feel like, okay, make sure all the doors are locked, you know, that I'm okay, the alarm is on, someone knows I'm home. I'm going over different things to help build a level of, for you to be comfortable to dig into this deep area. And that's another thing we do. We try to desensitize you from the actual trauma so you can receive it openly without feeling that you already have an answer, which is a way to help deter defense mechanisms or coping mechanisms that might be defensive or come off what we consider non-compliant or resistant in treatment. So that's a person that we consider naturalistically set in their ways.
Okay.
They don't really want to change. However, they may not know how to change, or if they do change, the level of vulnerability and fragility in their life is so hard that you don't know who you are right now. That's a beautiful place.
Yes.
To go through a transition and you're looking, who am I? You know, what am I trying to accomplish? It's a very scary place. That's when you know you're really doing work. So to answer that question, one thing when you're dealing with trauma is you have to identify what your trigger is. If you don't know what your trigger is, start keeping note of conversations or topics that you might run into that cause you to have a same reaction. For me personally, aside from being a clinician, as a woman, one of my things was trying to be understood.
Right.
Trying to be understood was something that I kept running into over and over and over and over again. One, I really did talk very fast. So I'm trying to make sure.
Well, you know, we're from
upstate.
Upstate.
So I'm trying to make sure that I don't talk too fast. That's one thing. But it gave me a complex because people would say she talked too fast, so they would just write me off. Like what I was saying wasn't important. Or because my social economic situation made you feel inferior financially or social status wise, that you didn't take the passion that I had as a very serious one. And then many times I fought so hard as a person to try to prove my point that I really immersed myself in the knowledge of information. So when it came across, it was very abrasive to others and they felt intimidated because I did my research. I knew I had to work twice as hard. Those are all examples of how I took my trauma. From being misunderstood, and now I use something that should have been a stepping stone as a defense mechanism.
That part.
As long as I know what I'm doing, I'm good, no matter how the delivery comes about. If your delivery is not getting the reception that you want from others that are able and maybe willing to help you, you might be the problem. Hello. So, in a marriage.
I'm learning that.
So, in a marriage, as you transition from, you said not being married.
Right.
So, from not being married, you need to, one, let the person who you're with. Now, ladies, and gentlemen, this is a very, very, very delicate process. It is not okay to tell every man you with all your business. One, you telling somebody everything about you is not healthy regardless. However, what you should do is use a filter to determine, is this person capable of showing me the type of compassion, the type of patience that I need, the type of commitment to understanding my emotional needs. And what you're asking them to handle, is it something that they should handle for you? Many times we want someone's validation or love to substitute the fact that we don't want to work.
Yes.
So what I mean is, you got your heart over here with Johnny, you got your mind over here with Bobby, and your body is with another man that you met 2 years ago that can't nobody else touch.
Okay.
So you still in love because you love you love an experience you had that made your mind and heart connect because your body felt something.
Gotcha.
But in actuality, they never ever really challenged you to be better. They just say, oh, you know, she crazy anyways. No, it's not okay to say somebody crazy.
Right.
You know,
Stop
you might really, really, really not be stable. Now, emotional stability is another part.
Mm-hmm.
We look at it like this. Emotional stability is something that is a very, very delicate but universal need to have a strong relationship.
Right.
If you get with someone and you know that they're showing you a lot of red flags that are not comfortable for you, some may say, well, I don't know what my comfort is. If this person is not respecting your boundaries as a young lady, if she's not allowing you to walk in a freedom with your children or a freedom at your job, or if she's imposing her value system and not allowing you to feel the freedom and being an individual, and now having to be with this person all the time to cover up the fact that they're very insecure, that might not be very healthy, because that person is traumatized from something that has caused them to need to feel, to react in a controlling manner. I'm not saying that, you know, you cheated on her,
right,
or you did something that makes her not trust you, and now you have to work with her emotional transition.
Because she came in with the trust issue.
She came in, but if she came in with a trust issue and you reinforce that trust issue with your behaviors, that's different. So how can I stop it at the front door? What can I do right now to work on my trust issues?
Right.
Having a trust issue, people say trust issues is a bad thing. No, you should be very concerned about trusting each and every person. You should inspect somebody's fruit to know if it's safe for me to trust you.
Gotcha.
But a trust issue is saying that I don't have the ability, the capacity, nor the desire to trust anybody else. So you blaming somebody else for someone else's mistake. No, blaming someone is different than learning from your experience and taking what you learned to become a better person in how you treat somebody. It's not sitting here writing out a script saying, I'm not going for this, I'm not going for that, you're not going to do this, you're not going to do that, you're not going to do this. Yes.
Or he has to have this.
Or he has to have this, he has to have that. Having standards is very important. Very, very important. And then I want to touch on the men. Sometimes men, I'm not a man. So before we get a defensiveness, I want to make that clear too.
Right.
I'm not a man, but I do speak with a lot of men in relationships that love their wives, but really don't know if their wives feel love from them and they're giving all that they have. Sometimes as a man, you can't love somebody through a pain when they haven't themselves cut that wound. For instance, when you have a wound, it has to get healed. You have to cut it and get the pus out, put the peroxide, put whatever has to be on that wound for that wound to heal. Sometimes things happen where the wound gets punctured over and over and over again, and it can get a callus, but it's not necessarily that it's healed properly.
Come
you
on,
ever had a scar that healed? Like I have a scar here. My sister's watching, Krista. We were 10 years old, and we were playing in the kitchen, and I slipped my wrist on a bookcase in the kitchen. And this scar has been here for since I'm 35 now, so over 25 years, this scar has been on my hand. And I remember where I got it from. I know who was with me. I understand, but I don't feel the anger that I had when the scar happened.
Right.
I don't feel upset like it was her fault that I have a scar 25 years later. We both was in the kitchen cutting up. And marriages, sometimes in relationships, we both do things that cause each other to feel hurt and feel pain. But if you still keep reliving the same anger, the same pain over and over and over again, then your wound might be healed, but you're not healed.
Yes.
So you're not healed.
And that's why I tell people, you know, even with whatever you've been through, understand you are a victim. Once you acknowledge that, don't keep living in that victimization.
Mm-hmm.
You have to move forward to become a survivor of an overcomer.
Right.
So when you tell your story or you share your truth, you start to grow. Because I did the same thing. When I started to share my story and my truth, my transition of where I started sharing my story and the anger and, you know, the malice and just the hurt started to transition where my words changed, my actions changed, how I spoke, you know, at events changed, because I then realized, yes, I was a victim of these things, but they no longer hold me there.
Right.
And I had to mature to a different type of conversation. And it goes, again, to me seeking help and understanding it was time. So before we get into the next part, because I do want to cover children. Because so often in relationships, the children get sucked up in these situations or these generational curses that are not broken by the parents and then down to the children, and it continues and it continues. And we see ourselves in these mirrors and, you know, no one has broken it or said, hey, maybe this really is a problem. My mother had the problem, I had the problem, now my daughter or my son is portraying those same actions. So definitely want to go ahead and shout out our sponsors really quickly. This weekend, May 26th, we have Derek Pinckney's event, the fundraiser for veterans, the rehab. He basically allows, he's raising funds. There's 3 different ways to do that. I do have it on the Wednesdays with Hayes page. He was able and blessed to be able to receive rehab services, so he wants to give out, you know, that same blessing to other vets as well. So please make sure that you check it out. The event is this weekend, May 26th. The information and the flyer is on the Wednesdays with Hayes page. I will repost it again. I am having surgery, so I can't attend the event because I did want to go live just to support it. But definitely will be sharing on the page the things that are going on at the event, and also how to donate.
Awesome.
Also, don't walk around fly. I keep saying this all the time, and your credit is trash. So make sure y'all go and y'all check out. Yes, that too. Make sure you go check out VIP Credit Repair LLC. That is their name on Facebook as well. All your credit needs, student loans, repossessions, they got you. You can contact them at 844-453-8115. Also, if you have a child that's struggling, you're struggling in school, going back to school, just need an affordable tutor, and you don't want to go, nothing wrong, you know, nothing wrong with Sylvan and Huntington and them, but sometimes our kids need a one-on-one touch.
Yes,
they need that in-home, and sometimes they're more comfortable going, you know, someone coming to them than them going to an office because they feel like they're in school all over again. So I can personally attest to, you know, TJ Samuel tutoring. Shout out to Miss Tamisha. She is from Jersey, New Jersey as well. She has helped me and my son, statistics and his math and reading to get him to the EOG.
That's awesome.
So yeah, she's awesome. Young lady doing it out here full time. So definitely give her a shout out, check her out, go like her page. You can contact her at 910-336-2293. She handles from K to 12 and undergrad. So she got y'all covered with that. Spanish and all.
Every age.
Right. And again, my homegirl, Roma, Trini, Liberian Queen on Facebook. Roma Promise, she's probably on the live. I think I just seen her. Hey, boo. Definitely check out her boutique, Mia Moore Clothing and Accessories. They're right here.
Nice stuff.
Yes, a lot of nice stuff. 5439 Yakin Road, Fayetteville. She does do online ordering as well. From, you know, regular dress down to if you need to go to an affair and represent to the fullest, she got you. No matter if you're a size 0 to, you know, curvaceous at a 4+. I love you all. Curvaceous. And she got you. Got it. Curvy Queen, she got you as well. And lastly, I love Miss Stephanie. Now, her mission is understanding that Christians dance too. Okay? So with that, she loves to turn up in another form and also get fit while you're doing it. So her business, Dancing Without Sin, they do all types of functions. So they specialize in women empowerment, church functions, teen events, ladies night, whatever the theme is, and you can specialize your playlist if you want. If you have specific artists that you want to listen to. Now, she didn't just leave, everyone out as well. She does also have old school hip hop and R&B. But it's a twist to a way, just like, they're doing Zumba and twerk classes, things of that nature. It's called Dancing Without Sin.
Tag me in that.
I definitely will. She's doing some awesome things. She just had a display when they had the Dogwood Festival. She was out there on Hay Street doing that. So shout out to Miss Stephanie. Yes. That's like my second mom. She's really awesome with that. Yes, and I'm not telling you, the experience is awesome. Now, speaking of dancing, because she does do family environment, kids, and all that, so that's good. With the children, again, coming from both of us.
I can pick up where you left off.
Right. Coming from the past and the things that we've experienced, what have you done differently?
Yes. Now
with church, yes. Okay. What have you done differently? Yes. Because just like it says, when you know better, you do better. A lot of times we can't hold our parents but to a certain level because they only can do what they had and what they know. So now that we know better, what have you personally done in a personal aspect and also on a business aspect, counseling with children, that you do to, one, educate parents, and also the practices that you use in your own home to break those generational curses?
Now we're going to step into the fact that I have been given a gift.
Oh, Derek Brown, sorry. Hey, Mom.
Hey, son.
Hey, son.
So this is something that I don't want you to start crying. I don't know if you're crying, but he can definitely attest. It's a blessing when your children can look and see the authentication. When my son is 16, he's the young gentleman I talked about that moved here with me. And to support and believe, like, my mom is not a crock. Like, what she's talking about is really real.
Right.
And for my son to be here and to support. So I just want to say I appreciate that very much. What I would like to say is I'm going to have to change my role at this moment because I have to actually make sure that I reach out to my community. And this is what I feel that God wants me to use this platform for as well. Let's keep it real, okay? When you're talking about we have to skip over the victimization part, if you don't get past that part, you're not going to go anywhere else.
Right.
I have some things, some dirt, some juice, honey, some tea that I can tell you about wanting to be a victim. In my marriage and relationships and a lot of other avenues, things that I have allowed myself to be a part of, the residue of those decisions that I've made, and I can continue to be a victim over and over and over again. And what happens is you have to actually look yourself and whatever you want to utilize, a mirror, look at a book, look at if you're cooking and you're in the kitchen, you're thinking, there comes a road. You have to decide the road you want to go down. So to give some specific examples, I had to learn that I am not a victim. Yes, I was hurt. Yes, I was traumatized. I was devastated. I was let down. I made a lot of decisions personally that was not healthy coping skills for myself. If it was overeating, if it was having relationships with individuals that was not compatible to me, whatever it may have been, at the end of the day, they were decisions that I have to forgive myself for. So I had to learn to forgive myself and walk in the truth. Well, how did that truth look like? That truth look like if you're the only one at the end of the day who seems to be appeased or satisfied, and you're not bringing any value to your children, to your friends, to your loved ones, to somebody that is connected and growing from you, you might just be stagnated and dead. And I have a huge book. When I mean dead as far as emotionally, you're numb. Nothing's. What's your passion? What's driving you? I have a book this thick, full of accomplishments, full of trainings, full of certifications, and none of that meant nothing. All of that was just a desire that I had to keep overachieving. Sometimes overachieving is an addictive behavior. Yes. Sometimes having a relationship or having a man or having the prettiest hair or, the best outfit, whatever it may be, you're actually trying to compete with a measuring stick that you will never ever reach because it's an emptiness inside of you. I had to find what my happy place was. I had to actually seek what that was, and it was a total transformation. What it did was it allowed me the opportunity to see that I am still victimizing myself. Career-wise, why am I not a successful business owner? Why am I not having great relationships with this company or that company? No, I'm a success because I qualify. I went to college 12 years. You know, I pursued my education. I passed that state board. I haven't had any situations working with the clients that I've served that has not had outcomes. And the ones that have not had outcomes might be because they actually did not want to do their work.
Right.
If they did their work and didn't have an outcome, I might just came at that time to plant a harvest or water the seed or pull up some weeds. Some things are embedded in us. So what I did was I began to do my own work. My testimony from when I was 22 to 35 cannot look the same.
At all.
That cannot look the same. So I had to go out and plow a new field. And I had to ask God to really help me to dive to the things that made me feel important and what really was important. When you're looking at your son, you're looking at your home. Ladies, ministry starts at home.
Hey.
When you have a child and their grades does not reflect the level of ability that child can give, that they can give, are you motivating them? Are you making sure that you're keeping in contact with the teachers?
Speaking life into them.
Speaking life into them. Are you keeping yourself aware of what's going on besides when the school calls? If they have a co-parent, are you? Let's talk about the co-parent.
Hello, I was getting ready to say the mental
right.
state of a child when
Yes.
when there is friction
Right.
or pettiness or immaturity when it comes to co-parenting.
Petty
That was my
queen.
next question.
I was the petty queen. This is long before I got an LPC. This is the pettyqueen.com. Boom, boom, boom.
Solid in it.
Petty queen.
Right.
And what I realized is that this young gentleman, but actually to me, both of the gentlemen, because I have two children's fathers,
Right.
my older and my younger, they lost valuable years with their children. So the fact that I was fortunate enough to have children with two wonderful men, separate relationships,
Right.
one marriage and one relationship, that actually want their children, that love their children, that want to be there, and you're the common denominator. You're the common denominator. I am. I had to realize that a lot of my communication techniques or a lot of the way that I relayed information to them was not user friendly.
Hello.
It was not necessarily I cussed them out. It was belittling. It was things that
Yes.
I didn't realize. You're not going to do this, this, and this, and this, and this because I was hurt and we worked together.
Right.
Just deal with the situation where
Right.
it's at.
Let's call it.
Let's
Let's
call
call it
it what
spade
it
a
is.
spade.
Call it
Right.
spade a spade. And I took their rejection that I felt, which was really incompatibility. You know, I took the rejection as I'm not good enough. So I kept reinventing this wheel that I'm not good enough. So what sufficed for my trauma, how I cope with my trauma that wasn't healthy,
Right.
was another training or another class or another opportunity to be a good couponer or
Yeah, we need to talk about that.
be a good super mom going to the school. It was never really wanting to just let everything just quiet long enough to really look and see, what do my kids think about me?
Right.
What do my children think about me? You know, not keep asking this man why you don't love me no more, why we're not together. You know, what can I do to make you feel more comfortable? What can I do to make sure that, you know, you feel like the attention is put on your son at all times and not put on me?
Yes.
And if there's moments that we're able to have together with both of my children's fathers and they're asking about me, it's always in the content of preparing to understand that when I have a husband, that I don't have to worry about, oh, you got to call me back from my husband in the room.
Right.
Because I'm having relationships emotionally with a man that's not mine, and I haven't let my heart go. So the trauma was really letting go of the relationship. It really was looking at, and I had some hurtful situations, and it was letting go and saying, you know what, you are an extra. Ladies, gentlemen, you are an extra. Today, this is an opportunity for a stage, but you're just an extra in this playwright. The curtain has not closed because I still have breath in my body. Hello. This intermission that I've taken in my life to look like I took a loss, to make sure that this comeback, what am I coming back from?
Right.
I don't want to come back from a dead situation.
Yes.
So what I'm going to do is allow this new harvest to come. And sometimes it's hard, you guys. It's hard when people don't want to believe that you have changed. Let's talk about that.
Yes.
When people don't believe that you have changed, that is a very difficult and delicate transition.
Come on.
I was talking to a young lady, and her name is Dr. Love, and she was sharing with me about exercising.
Right.
And we were talking about sometimes you hit a plateau.
Yes.
So sometimes when you change, it's like, have I really changed? You know, oh, ooh, Lord, the old me would have said this, would have done that.
Yes.
You know? And what if your husband's trying to change in a marriage, but you keep worried about what he did before that looks the same, but he really has changed?
Yes.
Are you discouraging him from really being consistent? You can only tell that if you give that fruit and that harvest time to come forward. Changing is not easy.
Yes.
So let's be realistic. That's clinical, because we have to set a measurable, attainable goal based on what you feel your outcome for an optimal life is, and identify what the diagnosis or what the problem is.
Yes.
So if you're having an adjustment disorder, if you're having a depressive episode, or if you're having some tendencies in your life that's preventing you from moving forward, there's someone you can talk to about these things that's trained, because everybody don't know everything.
That part.
I talked to my pastor. Nothing wrong with spiritual counseling. That's
Right.
where I got a lot of my counseling from.
Right.
I stayed at the altar. You talking about a person staying at the altar like the alabaster box?
She up there again.
She up there again. That's another thing. Folks be worried about what you trying to do.
Right.
I'm trying to get my life.
Right.
Because I need my oxygen mask. I need this oxygen, and please order me 2 more on back order. It's hard out here. It's hard trying to pursue your dreams. It's hard trying to start over again. Your reputation as a young lady, you might have been, a little bit thoughty, for the last 5 years. And now you want a man to take you serious. So, because you had some consistent, promiscuous activities, you want to try to tell him about where you at right now, so he don't let nobody else get to him. So then you traumatized when he bring it up to you, and you like, well, I told you that. You don't see, I'm this, honey. Now, sometimes things, you talking about 2 months ago or 2 years, sometimes time, depending on what it is.
Right.
But you have to accept that that's where you were at right then. If you felt that, being involved with a lot of men physically was something that you did for gratification, you have to live up and own to that. You have to live up and say, I did it. You can't get mad at somebody running their mouth, because the Bible says when a man find a wife. So if he still find you to be a good woman,
right,
then that's what he found, and nothing and no one can come in.
That part.
That's trauma.
That part.
Not allowing yourself to be forgiven from your past.
Right.
That was the past. We always say it's the past. Let's make it sound fancy. Yesterday, you literally have no control over the universe. You have no control over the sun and the stars and the moons going backwards. You cannot tell the person who takes care of the clock time on your phone. You can't tell time on the cable to set the time back, so you can go backwards and do something different yesterday. All you can do is take the knowledge you learned, and you can prepare better the next day, because it's a journey. So what we do is we give you hope and the tools to stop the cycle. So the cycle with our kids is this. My children needed their mom. I worked in the field, in the community for years. I worked in people's houses. I worked with individuals that it was easy for me to say, oh my God, this is a lot. I didn't judge, because somebody could have said, oh my God, she got a lot. Because I was a lot. It really was a lot. But I learned to have, and am learning continually, to have a great life balance. So when you speak and I talk, I'm not worried about my team, the people that I surround myself with, not knowing that what I'm saying today is not authentic. They've heard me cry. They've seen me put the work in. They've seen me do the things necessary to stand here in the truth, that I can speak and I can help someone. So I'm talking to someone that's hurting, someone that feels that, I keep trying to start this car up and I get this sound. I know I got gas. I know that my starter's not broke. I know my alternator is not broke. But it just won't go nowhere. And then when it goes somewhere, I can only get to the light. So I'm concerned about, I can't get to my destination. I have to keep starting the car over again and stopping the car, starting the car over again and starting the car. Honey, because you picking up extra passengers.
Hello, that should not be there on the way.
Right. So what I would say is, in marriage and mental health, that journey getting there is where I'm focusing on.
Right.
How can you, Juanita Bynum, people talk about Juanita Bynum, but she had a good thing that said no more sheets. No more sheets is no more lies. Nothing else covering up. I'm not laying something over to not let you see the real deal.
Right.
You know, not let you see it. A gentleman asked me yesterday, I was at a barbershop yesterday, he asked me, what is love? And I told him, it's when, in my opinion, it's when your mind, your body, and your heart aligns up, and you make sure that what you do is aligning yourself to that person's best interest.
Yes.
That person's best interest in season, out of season, through good times, through bad times. What I consider good, you may consider bad.
Or you may not just accept.
Because I've been through trauma.
Yes.
And you've been through trauma. So your husband seeing, you know, you're very loud, I'm very loud. He might say, oh, that's so ghetto. Oh, she's so ghetto. Well, maybe we talk loud because we want to make sure that when we're speaking that we don't stutter.
Right.
Or we're heard. Or that our words are being enunciated.
Right.
You don't know why people do what they do.
Right.
Only thing should matter is how that person's outcome impacts you.
Exactly.
So
I like that.
Your
like
wife
that.
may love you different.
Yes.
Let's talk about that right quick. I only got passionate.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies, let's get delivered right here, okay? Well, I love him. And young men, well, I loved her. But he wasn't doing this for me. Okay. Now, this might be a little bit upsetting, but you might not be the woman that brought that part of that man out.
Hello.
Okay? Everybody loves differently. I could say that the person who I have a child with is now married. I loved him. Okay. I could say that the person I divorced, he has a girlfriend. I could say I loved him. I was his wife. Okay. What I'm saying is that every woman has different characteristics. And as we grow in life, that's why it's important to grow in your marriage. That he feels or she feels the investment they're making in this person. Because that's what a marriage should be, an investment, okay? That they have what I need to bring me to another level or to help me maintain where I'm at. And that they're able to pour into the parts of me that I share with them intimately. Intimately is your thoughts. It's not just your body. That's why people get mad when you feel like you cheating on somebody, you get in a friendship, because it's the intimacy of the connection emotionally that you have with that person. So I want to tell you to be free today. Let it go. Let it go as far as, well, he don't love me. She don't even treat him. She don't know this about him. Honey, evidently he ready to start over and figure out something new.
Right.
So let it go. I just want to say that as well, because I feel that's a hard area that we as children's mothers sometimes, or he didn't deserve me, but he did it the first time, deserved you. But now that you want to seem like his decision to move on is a problem for you because he's trying to restart with someone else.
Right.
Okay? Let's talk about us. Let's stay on us. Let's stay on us. I'm not here to man bash. But what about the man? It's difficult. You might really have some love for baby mama. You might really like baby mama.
And respect
and everything else. And you know, you might feel a little torn. She didn't know how to act right then. If she would have been this person back in the day, I could have been good with her. But she was tripping back then.
Right.
Okay. You did all this work now to get y'all situated and separated, and you want to go back and play on this playground. Honey, ain't no swings. You know, it's kind of like going to the playground in New York. You know, when you know it's a playground there, but the swings are missing.
The swings is missing. Or
the change there only, or the tires missing. It's kind of like that. You know, you guys didn't make it through that process.
Right. So
let's focus on what you have today.
And sometimes people that are together are sometimes better just as friends. Or just as co-parents. Mm-hmm. And we're definitely, before we close, because it's coming to the close of the hour, but yes, girl, I told you that.
Get some other
like, she was all nervous before she got here.
I was.
But I told her she's definitely going to come back, because, I mean, mental health, yes, you are.
I learned today.
Because mental health is very, very big.
Yes.
And, you know, I want to touch on different, you know, things in reference to mental health. But definitely, before we go and get to that last question that I have for you.
Okay.
Of course, why walk when you can drive? Reliable and affordable cars and trucks, Zoom and Auto Sales. They are located at 4800 Yakin Road, Fayetteville, North Carolina. Please ask for Donnell or Don. He will get you straight. You know, if your credit a little funny, you need to be a VIP credit repair anyway. But In the meanwhile, while you're trying to get your whole life together, go ahead and check out Don at Zoom and Auto Sales. He'll definitely get you on the road and driving today. If you're planning an event, graduation, just need a t-shirt done, period. Good Impressions, my homeboy Michael Good, awesome, awesome, awesome. He has a sale, 10 t-shirts going on right now for $100. He does also offer emergency services, so if you need a shirt overnight, he'll definitely get you situated with, and they are vinyl as well, the vinyl print. And you can contact him at 910-751-3316. He is located right there in the Boost Mobile in the Spring Lake Plaza, so not that far from here as well. Also, if you're looking for quality hair, need a hairstylist, natural hair, permed hair, don't matter, need your lace to look like it grew out of your scalp, definitely check out Faith Brown and Inner Faith Hair. I have all of my sponsors' information on my Facebook page. I always tag them in the post. They're actually on this video live as well. Make sure y'all go support these individuals. They are out here doing positive things. They give back to the community. You don't always have to see what people are doing in the forefront. You know what I mean? But I don't partner with anybody that's just doing the bare minimum, or, you know, they're doing something and giving back, okay? Because, you know, you got to be a level and above. I'll pull you and help you. But, you know, you got to surround yourself with go-getters and people that are giving back in the process. Also, who doesn't love candles, all natural products, as well as her company also turns around and is an empowerment for women and also teaching teens how to start their businesses. So definitely check out Women Own and Everything. My girl Erica Woods from Jersey City, New Jersey. She got some big things going on as well. Don't get a new bumper. Yeah, well, he might be. Holla at him in his inbox and ask if Don can get a new bumper. She said she needs a new bumper, honey. Oh, your son said, Mama, he watching. I had to make sure I didn't want to interrupt you when you was talking. He was like, tell my mama I'm watching. Everybody's definitely liking, commenting.
Before you ask that last question, I want to say this. I know that Barber Kings, I want to shout out to Barber Kings.
Shout out to Q and Sean.
Yes, because I actually purchased. I said I was going to do it. I am. I think they're planning in their barber shop right now. They have a hair care line product called Life, and I wanted to tell you that my beautiful curls have been brought back to life because of that oil. Yes. And I also wanted to give a appreciation to a sponsor for me, Premier Real Estate, Mr. Michael Sweeney. I know that you have specific sponsors, but being on this event today, I wanted to take the time to give that support out there and just, you know, pretty much say what was on my heart out of appreciation. So thank you very much for allowing me to do that.
Anytime. And also, before we get to the last question, I want to let you guys know, for whoever did share, I'm gonna actually put your name, and I'm gonna post the actual winners. No, because we gotta look at the actual share and totals and stuff.
Gotcha.
So at the end of the show, I'm gonna see everybody that shared. We do got some Chill Curve. This is a cologne for men, and then for the lady, for the ladies. Yes, for the ladies. We have here a portable speaker. This is courtesy. She donated it for the show. So this is from I Do Care Counseling to you guys. And then for a couple of gamers, you know, because I know you got some couples that love the game. So we do got also a dual charge dock here. So definitely make sure you share if you haven't already. Because we do got some freebies coming to you guys, and we will ship them to you if you're not in Fayetteville or local area. Don't worry about it.
Oh, and Lolo BB Network. My sister Crystal Harold, she's the Lolo BB Network. Please check that out. She is a artistry, everyone, dance, photography, makeup, hair.
Oh, she's the all in all.
The Lolo BB Network. LOLOVI Network. Please check the Lolo BB Network out.
Okay, so my last question before we get out of here is 7:04, and thank you guys for still sticking with us. If you could give one word of advice in a couple words, because you know me and you will talk. We'll talk all day long. I already know. We gotta let them go though. But if you can give a summary of words of advice for anyone that has again experienced trauma and they may be recognizing or are tired of hitting that wall, you know, what would you say to them? And also make sure they go see you at I Do Care. If they're in the area.
It could be online. We do online counseling.
See, boom. They know that.
Online counseling.
They do online counseling.
I'm going to speak for...
and who you accept as well, insurance.
We have several. Please go to the website, www.idocarecounseling. Currently, you can check that website out to see the insurances that we actually accept.
Yes.
I will refrain from saying that online. Only because I don't know if that's a part of my contract violations or whatever.
Gotcha.
So I want to have tactfulness in the business. But
she doesn't sell some major brands, some major insurance
companies,
yes.
major insurance companies. I definitely want to make that clear. From a business aspect, I would like for you to please, when I say business, I mean I'm coming to you as a clinician. I would like for you to know that there is someone here in the city and also online as a consultant or either a clinician, because I'm licensed in Texas and North Carolina.
Okay.
So I would like to say that I am here to provide you services, mental health services for your family, for your individual needs as a group. I can come to a church event and do a workshop. I also, as Shahara, I also do motivational speaking as well. I actually created an offer on my website, idocarecounseling.com is the website, but on my Facebook page for attending today, I'm doing a special for couples. $50 for a relationship introduction session.
Okay.
And that's just for you guys to come in and say, do I really want to go here? People sometimes come in and realize that these issues they're having might be better suited one-on-one.
Right.
But for $50, I have reduced that for them to do a one-on-one session in person or either online. You can go to the page and submit a appointment request, or you can look at the bottom of the page and email or send a message on Facebook. Another area I would really want to focus on is working with individuals that are going through transitions in their life,
yes.
Moving or a recent divorce, a breakup, anything that you feel that you call that friend on the phone all the time. It's kind of like, who I call now because I don't talk to everybody. They tell me the same thing, but I still don't feel okay. Sometimes you need to talk to somebody else. So I'm here to do that. From a personal side, as a business, branching out, my business has been, I've been in business as a clinician since 2011. So I'm not new. I've been a counselor since 2011. Not new, but I actually opened up I Do Care late 2017. And thank you. We're located in Hope Mills, North Carolina. So please do come by and visit. But I would like to say, even myself, as I'm in transition, as a new business owner, it can be a scary thing. You know, it can be a very difficult process trying to make sure that you brand yourself correctly, or that you're in a good place, or you're optimistic. All these things that people tell you to do, at the end of the day, you have to just have faith and believe in yourself. And surround yourself with a good team. People that believe in you, people that you believe in, and most importantly, it can't always be about I. What are you doing this for? And I ask God, I praise dance. I walk around my neighborhood, and I actually walk my neighborhood, and I'm dancing as I'm walking my neighborhood.
Okay.
That's my outlet that I like to do. If you live in my neighborhood, then you know what I'm talking about. But I actually walk my neighborhood like the Jericho wall, and I just constantly just dance and praise and just, thank God for what He's doing for me. However, you can find yourself in a position where you feel like you're out for the count. You're getting ready to lose everything, your mind, your home, your car, your children. You're getting ready to lose your friends, anything. Just keep knowing that if you get up the next day, you have another chance to do it, and it gets easier. So I thank God for people that have been there for me to support me. That's very important. I don't have anybody. You don't have anybody, then call me. Because I also am able to do, I don't do free services, but I reduce them for individuals that may not have insurance or can't afford it, and to link you up with someone. And also, there's a lot of community resources here in our community. Even if you're not looking at it from Fayetteville, North Carolina, I can link you up with someone that you can speak with in another location. You can find people, programs. I can give you the resources to help you find programs. On my website, there's links and resources. On that website, there's a long list of people to help you so I can connect you, because everything is not about getting $1.
Right.
Everything is not about getting paid. Yes, we have to make it. Yes, we have to do that to live. I do want to be a successful business and walk in my passion and my vision, but I'm soliciting you to look for what's best for you, that you don't give up hope in yourself. At the end of this day, I want to know that I Do Care Counseling came here to represent as a domestic violence overcomer. I'm not bashing the man who hit me. I'm not bashing the person who traumatized me. I'm not bashing anybody. I'm only saying this is the product of the things that I went through. That's an overcomer. That is saying, don't love me to death. Don't love me to the point to where I have no hope.
Yes,
and you kill a person's hope, and you kill their dream, and you kill whatever ignition they need, they'll never get up because you just need a little bit of flame. So that's it. I'm done. I'm just very passionate. I see your eyes.
Right,
okay,
look, we good over there.
You know, that's a counselor though.
Yeah, so I do want to thank you again. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
coming through and dropping some jewels. Definitely, guys, please go like her page. Go give her the same love that you guys give me. Go like her page. You know, even if you feel you don't need counseling, somebody on your timeline may go ahead and share. Like she said, she does by phone, she does by video, as well as in person. So there's no need for no one not to find what it is that they're looking for. With that being said, I do want to thank you again for stopping by. We will definitely pick a winner for the actual prizes that she dropped off. And of course, make sure y'all tune in next week. Next week's show is going to be very sentimental to me. I know with may be in mental health awareness as well. I do have surgery coming up on the 25th. And I'm going to be talking about on the 30th from my bed, so I'll be live from my actual bed. My husband said I'm not getting out of the bed, so I promise
now that's dedication.
Right.
That's dedication.
Right. I do want to touch on endometriosis because it's something that I have battled with. I was misdiagnosed with. To one, share my story. Two, to give you guys an update on how I'm doing because I may not be on social media after my surgery. And also just to get the awareness out there because there are a lot of women suffering from endometriosis, do not know what it is, do not know what adenomyosis is. And if I can at least help one person go to the doctor and get seen or treated, that's what I want to get done. So I will definitely be giving you guys an update. You guys keep me in your prayers. I will let you know when I'm going into surgery. I'll probably have my husband just update the page to let you guys know I'm okay. But I'll see you guys next week, 6 o'clock, every Wednesday from 6 to 7. This is, of course, Wednesdays with Hayes. Love you guys and have a great evening.